Yoruba socio-cultural organization Afenifere has alleged that President Bola Tinubu is sliding into fascism reminiscent of Gen Sani Abacha's days. The National Publicity Secretary of the group, Justice Faloye, made this statement on Wednesday. Afenifere also revealed plans to create a political group to challenge the ruling government in the 2027 general election. Faloye described President Tinubu's administration since May 29, 2023 as a colossal failure, accusing it of harassing perceived opponents. He said Afenifere is concerned about the administration's direction, noting that it is not only the NLC president who is being harassed, but also hundreds of people who are jailed for participating in hunger protests. According to the group, the economy has completely collapsed under the present administration, with outspoken critics being arrested and detained. We have criminalization of protest under Tinubu, where peaceful protesters are threatened, harassed, attacked, arrested, and detained unjustly. What do you call all this other than fascism? Even the international community has accused Tinubu of criminalizing peaceful protests in a democratic dispensation and condemned the trend. This is unacceptable. This is not democracy anymore. We are sliding into fascism. We've urged President Tinubu to heed the advice of Professor Wole Soyinka regarding fascism, the group said. Here is Afenifere describing the presidency of Bola Tinubu as fascism. So far, a lot of Nigerians are saying that Afenifere have been opposing to the APC government right from 1999. And I'm wondering how. How could that be?
Well, the advice is a well thought out one.
Okay.
If you ask my opinion. Because a brother who sees his brother going astray or drifting away is duty bound to advise the person to return to normalcy. Because as it is today, everything Afenifere advised there are all factual.
How do you mean?
Yes, factual in the sense that let us look at the area of silencing opposing voices. It is right in Section 40 that Nigerians, the Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, that Nigerians are within their rights to peacefully associate and gather, let's say, peaceful demonstration. And holding down opposing voices, charging them for treasonable felony. I mean, I can't remember the last time I heard that charges. If not the case of Nnamdi Kanu, where he is charged for treason and all that. Treasonable felony are usually associated with the military regimes because treason has to do with plans or efforts to topple a government. Okay. But in this case, these are peaceful demonstrators. They are only asking that we are hungry in Nigeria, which is a known fact. Even the security agencies knows that the country income is no more enough. I can challenge the security agencies individually if they will be honest to themselves. Are they better off? I know so many of them who are friends in different agencies. They are not better off. The only difference is that they are in authority, they are wielding power, they have our guns, they have free right to move about. But I can assure you their salaries are still the same. The salaries of other ordinary Nigerians are still the same. They are buying the same garri we buy in the market. They are also buying rice the same prices the ordinary citizens buy. So unless the security agencies are telling us that they have a soft landing where government have made a low price market for security agents to buy, otherwise, why are they hunting down peaceful protesters?
Well, the protest was later infiltrated, most especially in Kano State, where we see some people, you know, flagging flags and all of that. So don't you think that might be the reason why they've been arrested, just like you mentioned?
That is very wrong and should be discouraged. What those guys in Kano State did is purely unlawful, and the security agencies have the right to arrest them and prosecute them.
Okay.
That one, the ordinary citizen understands that these are people who have drifted from the idea of a peaceful protest. Because the idea of a peaceful protest, what it does is simply to communicate to the government grievances the ordinary man in the street has. Okay? It's just all about sending a message, a peaceful message. Government, we are not comfortable with this. Please amend this to ameliorate our situation in the country. I don't think these guys facing these charges, though the matter is in court, I may not delve into, you know, deeply into it, but my advice would be that the security agents should also tread with caution. Nigerians are provoked already. Nigerians are hungry. Life is difficult for Nigerians. This shouldn't be a time to, you know, intimidate Nigerians. It shouldn't be a time to arrest Nigerians unjustly and put them into jail. It should be a time for national healing. That is the way I look at it. Because already a lot of people are injured in their hearts. So government should roll out policies that will encourage national cohesion, national unity, and love. That is the only way we will have a safer society.
Now let's talk about the comparison between the Abacha's regime and the presidency regime. What are the differences? Are there similarities or are there differences?
No, that is one area I disagree with Afenifere, because the worst democratic regime is better to a military regime.
How do you mean?
Yes, of course. At least we, even though a few persons are being hunted down for demonstrating, protesting peacefully and all that, at least we still enjoy free speech. We don't have situations where the military can just drive down now and flog everybody, throw us into the gutters, you know, abuse our rights anyhow. At least, even though we know that there are still, you know, some infraction of rights in this present administration, we cannot liken it to Abacha days. It is still better than Abacha days. But what we are saying is, in comparing the economy, the time of Abacha, the economy was better than this. Okay. So the presidency should be challenged to do the right thing. And how would Nigerians see that they have done the right thing? It's to give us a good life. You know, I would want to beg Mr. President to refer back to his electionary campaign promises. I think that will also help him in knowing where to touch. And also, the handlers of Mr. President, they should be honest. They should be honest, knowing that, one, their children, their grandchildren are watching them. If they discredit themselves, it will tell on the posterity to come. If they do the right thing, they will be described as heroes of the nation. So I want to challenge the presidency. They should prove to us that they are the champion of democracy we knew Mr. President as.
All right. Afenifere has also revealed plan to create a political group to challenge the ruling government in the 2027 general election. Do you see any possibilities of this group emerging as president come 2027? Well, when you look at what happened with the Labour Party, you know, the emergence of Labour Party all of a sudden, do you think that could also be likened to Afenifere's situation now?
Well, nobody should be denied right of free association, peaceful assembly and association as enshrined in Section 40 of the Constitution. If Afenifere thinks they have muzzled or garnered enough, will to form a party to challenge in the next general election, it's a welcome development. Everybody has the right to do so. Even you seated here, you also have the right to float a political party if you have the wherewithal. So it's a welcome thing. We need the electionary space to be rejigged. So who knows whether the party Afenifere is looking at floating will have a better message for Nigerians. So we await 2027 and see what it bears.
All right. So they also went ahead to say that the presidency is criminalizing protests, and most especially peaceful protests, and threaten, harass, and also attack, people unjustly and detain people unjustly. What would you make of this situation? Or do you see this as a result of silencing people, just like so many people think, or as a result of curtailing excesses from the masses of public?
I can't find any excesses to curtail. What the protesters only did was to communicate to the leadership of the country that things are going down bad. See, those in presidency, they don't buy fear. Those big men, the governors, the National Assembly members, the ministers, the heads of NDAs and all that, they are not feeling the biting situation in the country. They are not, because they are not downtrodden, they are not common, they are not in the grassroots. The grassroots citizens are the ones who can tell exactly what the economy have become. These guys can buy fuel. Even if you raise fuel to 5,000, they can fill their tank and drive their convoy at will. But the ordinary Nigerians cannot afford that luxurious life. Okay, so why am I saying this? I'm saying this because the hunger in the land is real. It is not fictional. It is not Nollywood, it is not Gollywood, it is not Hollywood.
Well, but the president...
It is real.
The president have said Nigerians should exercise patience, that there are plans putting, like we have palliatives being distributed to people. Okay, let's talk about that. There are palliatives that have been distributed to people to at least, curtail this effect on the masses. What would you still make of that?
Palliative?
Yes.
Palliative is not what Nigerians need now.
Okay.
Nigerians need the president to revert the fuel price. They should, see, the president should stand firm and kill whatever corruption in NNPCL. They should kill the corruption. The corruption there is the problem.
And you think the presidency has powers to do this? Because occasionally they've come out to say that, like I rightly mentioned earlier, that they don't have the power to do that. It's not in their disposition to do that. It is a market force and it's been regulated by another body.
I disagree completely. I disagree completely.
Okay.
Brother, who appoints the board of the NNPC? Even though we know the last administration, have made the NNPCL to look like a private entity, even though we know that something is fishy, something is hidden. Who appoints the board and directors of NNPC? The president. So the presidency still has total control of the NNPCL. We have this crude oil in abundant number here in our country. You can't quantify the quantity we have in Nigeria. It's so massive. Why has our refineries refused to work? Why have we resorted to going to Malta and other areas to buy dirty fuel? Why we can fix our... Look at... Can we remember the figures the federal government wrote that they have spent in revamping our refineries? but a man single-handedly built one and is producing today one of the best fuel.
But we haven't gotten the fuel yet.
Because of the corruption in NNPCL. The corruption is key. NNPCL said they are owing $6 billion. How come they are owing the $6 billion to the operators? Have they told Nigerians how, and what? See, the truth is, it's high time we look at government and tell them the truth. They are really joking with Nigerians. Nigeria today, NNPCL today is being run like a company owned by one man. If Kerry cannot do the job, he should resign. There are so many eminently qualified Nigerians who can turn around the system. My brother, I challenge you today, if NNPC want to raise funds today, it will not take NNPC 3 days to raise any amount of money they need if they want to bring in technical partners to fix NNPC refineries. It will not be a challenge. But because players somewhere are benefiting, and I can assure you that those in authority are also beneficiaries of the corruption in NNPCL. If they are not beneficiaries, I am challenging the government today to stand tall and make a firm decision, kill the corruption in NNPCL, allow the refineries to work, import fuel at a cheap rate, to run side by side with what comes from the refineries. What Dangote produces, you will crash the price of fuel. And another major challenge is the devaluation of the naira. When you devaluate your currency, the implication is that the market forces will determine the exchange rate. So this truth should be told, and we should revive that policy to give us a better economy. Because whether we like it or not, our economy is oil dependent. So if the oil system is not right, it will affect every part of the economy, because agriculture is dead, manufacturing is dead. So what determines the foreign exchange? If we manufacture and export, we earn foreign exchange. If I remember when Nigeria, we read in history when Nigeria was the highest producer of cocoa in the world. Last night, while I was just going through TVC and all that, I saw a headline that Ghana have just, subsidized the price of cocoa so as to encourage farmers to go into farming cocoa. So agricultural products in Nigeria can be imported massively, sell to Nigerians at cheap rate, while the government invests massively in farms. This could be another way of cushioning the effect of the hardship in the country. But we are not seeing all this happening. The presidency keeps telling us we will do something about it. You have not come out to tell Nigerians, okay, because this has happened like this, we have done this, or we are doing this. Within so time, we are expecting a positive result. But in this case, we have not heard any plan. The government have not come up to show us a policy on how to take us out of this problem. Instead, NNPC is telling us they don't have solution to it. I mean, it's laughable. It is a national disgrace, and in fact, it is an international embarrassment for an agency or a company owned by Nigeria, saddled with responsibility of managing our crude oil, producing fuel if our refineries were to function. Now that refineries are not functioning, even though you will bring in fuel, how come the NNPCL is there and these operators are bringing in low quality fuel? Don't we do the Q and Q again, the quality and quantity testing. The agencies that are saddled with responsibility of checking low standard goods coming into Nigeria, what are they doing? The DPRO, the NIMASA and all that. What are they doing? This is the question. Corruption is the problem in NNPCL. If the presidency can, wake up, no matter whose ox is God, stop the corruption in NNPCL, I can bet you that Nigeria will start being a better place. People are running away from the country every day. Nigerians now prefer even Ghana to their own country. It's so disappointing and shameful. We should own up our mistakes and start correcting them before it gets so out of hand.
So if I get you correctly, that means everything that has to do with the cry, the pains of the people, is the price, the hike in the fuel pump price. Aside from that, is there any other things that the government needs to do, or is there any other things that you've seen the government doing just to curtail this hardship that people are saying that they're facing?
Yes, let's go back to the issue of palliative you raised before.
Yes.
I said palliative is not what we need at this point. The question is, the rice and other food items that was given to various governors, how did they share this palliative to the beneficiaries? They gave it out to their party supporters. So with that, you cannot simply say that the government have rolled out palliative. What Nigeria needs now, it's, if I were a governor, I will replicate what what's his name, Sanwo-Olu did in Lagos, where they have a particular market that sells at a subsidized rate at particular days. That will help cushion the effect of the price hike. But rolling out rice, some of the rice, I was privy to see a rubber of rice given to a woman in my place. I looked at the rice, it was dusty. It was almost rotting away. So is that the palliative? That is not what Nigerians need today. If you give a Nigerian mother a rubber of rice, how would that family survive the next time? So palliative is not the answer. The answer is revive, make sure you kill the corruption in NNPC to making the fuel price come to normalcy, one. Secondly, the major challenge why food prices are on the hike is the insecurity in the farms. Farmers in the north cannot easily go back and farm. When they farm, the bandits are there to share their proceeds with them, or they lose their life. I was interfacing with one of my boys yesterday, why he hadn't returned earlier than this. He told me that it was difficult for him to access his farm here in Rivers State, in Ogoniland.
All right.
So we need a better society.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Ndamzi, for your great analysis as always. I mean, you've always been giving us good insights. I mean, a beneficial one for that. Thank you so much.